Greetings. This is another installment, another episode of the CJ Wilkins YouTube channel and also the Be a Man podcast affiliate. Guys, today I came to a revelation. And the revelation that I came to is in season 6 of the Be a Man podcast. I don't believe I had that beans and potato and bread episode that can give men a fatherly gem, not fatherly per se, just an elder's statement, piece of advice that could actually increase the likelihood of their lives improving, right? I dropped gems like here and there. This was more like of a laid back season. I covered more like, current events, but I really thought like, damn, there's one subject that I've really been wanting to talk about and I just never did an episode about it. And this is going to be that episode. So today, gentlemen, what I'm going to talk about with you guys is I'm going to talk about assets and networks. All right. As a man who is on his purpose, a man who is on his mission, two of the most important things to your life, to your existence, is the amount of assets and resources that you're able to stockpile and or secure, and also the quality of your network. All right? What do you mean when you say quality of your network? When I talk about a man's network, I'm pretty much talking about the people who you have at your, I'm not going to say disposal, but who do you have access to and who are you in contact with that can help get shit done when you need shit to get done? Right? I know that's not the professional term, but this is how I'm going to say it on my channel. When I talk about a man's network, I'm talking about how many contacts do you currently have that if you were to get in a jam or a crazy situation, right? Or if you are trying to launch a business venture, you're trying to start a company, you're trying to secure funding for a project that you want to get off the ground before 2023. How many people do you have at your disposal that you can pick up the phone, shoot an email to, send a direct message to on LinkedIn and say, hey, so-and-so, I have an idea. Let's go grab lunch or drinks and let's talk about it. That's what a network is. And one thing I have learned over the duration of my life and, some of my side business and hustle ventures, right? A lot of times in business, we talk about what are your qualifications. And qualifications mean a whole lot. Okay, I'm not going to be the guy to tell you that your degree is worthless, your GPA means nothing. I'm not going to be the guy to tell you that, right? Society will tell you that enough. But I wouldn't feel comfortable telling you guys that degree that you're so proud of and you worked so hard to get truly doesn't hold the amount of value that you think it do. However, I will be more than elated and happy and joyful to tell you what does hold value, what is very beneficial, is your network. The men and women who you have the contact information of and a relationship with, who can help you get things done and or accomplished. As a man, your network is incredibly important, incredibly valuable. Having the right network can get you into rooms and doors you you never thought you could possibly get into in a million years. Just by knowing the right people, just by rubbing shoulders with the right motherfucker, you could get into certain deals, right? You could get into certain conversations. You could get into certain opportunities that you would have had no earthly ideal about had you not created or established that connection. So that's very important for all men. I don't care if you're young, you're middle-aged, you're old. Try to increase your network. Try to increase your network. Matter of fact, that's going to be a goal, a homework assignment I give you guys for the rest of July. There's a few more days left in July, and that is a goal that I want you guys to set for yourself. Establish 2 positive network relationships, right? And try to diversify your network too, okay? Don't just establish connections in your industry or within your field. It's very smart and brilliant to do that, okay? It's very, very intelligent of you to establish a network within your community. So if I'm an attorney, it would behoove of me to have a bunch of buddies in law or in the judicial system, right? If I'm a detective, it's great to have people in criminal justice. If I'm a physician, it's great to have a strong medical network, right? If I'm in entertainment, education, science, engineering, it doesn't matter. Always have you a solid network within your field. However, you need to up that a few notches and create you a solid network in fields that has nothing to do with what you do from the hours of 9 to 5 every day. How important is it? It is priceless. You cannot put a price tag on how important it is to have the right connections, to have the right relationships, to know the right people, right? And at a moment's notice, when you need them, be able to depend on them and rely on them to come through for you. It's a beautiful feeling, man. So guys, make sure you work on and you establish having a solid network. Now, let's go to the first one. Assets and resources. Assets and resources are very important also, because what assets and resources provide you, a cushion, right? I'm going to try to break these definitions and examples down to the most bare minimum I absolutely can, because I want you guys to not only hear this information, but I want you to use this information as well. This is valuable information. I'm giving you guys $1 million worth of game for absolutely free. All you got to do is like, comment, share, and subscribe if you so choose. Right? No pressure. But securing assets and resources build you a cushion. CJ, what type of cushion are you talking about? What do you mean? When you live a life to where you are always treading water, right? Meaning you're never really getting ahead. All you're really doing is you're doing just enough, or you're making it just enough so that you're not drowning and inhaling water in your lungs. But you're not really swimming. You're not really living life when you're in this cycle. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, and you have to go to work just so you can have rent covered, just so you can afford groceries, just so you can have enough gas to get around and do what you need to do with the limited amount of resources you currently have. Securing assets and resources is invaluable to a man's experience as a man is attempting to build his life, grow his life, and create a foundation that will make not only his life easier, but also easier for the people that man so choose to have in his life. So your children's lives become easier when you have assets and resources. The people who you decide to be intimate with and involve in your life at a significant other capacity, their lives are made a lot easier once you have an abundance of assets and resources. And here's the most beautiful thing about assets and resources, right? As it pertains to, you know what I'm saying, masculinity and, building a man up in a way that will make him a valuable commodity in this world, right? The beautiful thing about this is that you could start from anywhere and gain all that you need, right? So if you're starting from zero, right? There are mobile apps that you're able to start with a little to no money, and you can buy and purchase cryptocurrency. There are mobile stock apps where you can buy stocks and bonds and CDs at some of the top fiduciaries and banks in the country, right? And you don't have to start off with a lot of money. The pure magic about securing assets and resources is that you can start from zero and slowly build. And the whole point of it isn't to secure these things overnight. The point of it is you start wherever you are, and little by little you add on. You can start off by buying one dividend stock for Procter & Gamble on your next paycheck, if you can afford it, right? And then let's say it'll take another 2 paychecks for you to buy another stock. But in those 2 weeks or 4 weeks when you come back to buy stock again, now you can afford to buy a Coca-Cola stock, and let's just throw on a Google stock just in case, right? What you're doing unbeknownst to you, or maybe you do know what you're doing, but you're building a portfolio. And that is how you begin to create a cushion for yourself, right? Do you have a cushion? Do you have a rainy day fund? Dave Ramsey always says the first step of financial freedom is securing a rainy day fund. You need to have $1,200 saved. You need $1,200 saved. That's $100 per month, January through December, at the minimum. Now, your savings can be whatever amount you want it to be, but as a foundational floor, you want to have $1,200 saved. Okay? I'm showing you guys how to do this. You need to have $100 for each month of the year saved, right? And once you have your rainy day fund, this is your emergency fund. This is when, something goes out on the car and you really can't afford to miss work, or you don't have any alternative ways to get around, or, you get a medical bill. Your children get a medical bill, and, your insurance can't cover all of it. That's what a rainy day fund is for. Okay? Then, to create more cushion, what you do is you calculate how much it costs you to live every month, and you save up half a year expenses. Okay? What this will enable you to do is this will create a cushion in the event that you somehow become incapable of earning the income you're currently earning. So whatever you do to make money, if something catastrophic were to happen, i.e. like the COVID layoffs in 2020, for example, a lot of people lost their jobs to no wrongdoing of their own, right? They just lost their jobs because of the economy. Companies couldn't afford to keep people, right? Pandemic was going on, right? Beginning. And a lot of people lost their jobs. Well, if you lost your job and you had enough money to sustain yourself for 6 months, you would not be as in dire straits as someone who has $0 would be if they lost their job, because now their paycheck to paycheck stops and they're literally a few pink notices on the door away from being homeless. So the situation changes a great deal when that happens, right? So now you got your 6 months build up. So now this is when you begin investing. This is when you begin to study the stock market. This is when you begin to research money market vehicles that can help you increase your capital tenfold. This is where and how you begin doing it. You invest in the stock market. You go and get you some cryptocurrency. You invest in gold. You get you some dividend stock that can make money and interest. You get you high interest yielding stock that can help you make money while you're asleep. Okay? That's what you do. You go into investing. In conjunction with that, think about something you're very passionate about or something you're knowledgeable of. Think about it. And this is when you go to start a business. This is when you create a company and you begin to generate income outside of what you do from 9 to 5 in the form of a career. So I'm not telling you guys to up and quit your job. I'm not telling you guys to give up on the system. You know, screw the man. I don't need a job, you know. Work for yourself on the side until working for yourself can sustain the life that working for someone else does for you, okay? Now, mind you, I'm talking to the guys who are starting from zero or the guys who are starting from halfway. They've been thinking about doing this for a while and they haven't really had the support to do it, or they haven't had the confidence in themselves to do it. This is who this episode is for, right? All men can gain something from this episode. And one thing I really, really pray in all the content I make, I really pray that I'm bringing value to the men who are listening to this episode, right? The Be a Man podcast exists to add value to the male experience, right? And we can only do that by steel sharpening steel. So the best of us has to help the rest of us. Absolutely. There are guys that I have mentors in different areas of my life, and it has been beneficial to me, to say the least, to have people in your life who are smarter than you, make more money than you, are more successful than you, have been more places than you've been. That inspires you and motivates you in ways you never thought possible. And that's what you need as a man. You need a Templar of gentlemen who will make you a better you. All right? So you got to make sure you always start where you are, of course. But secure you resources and assets. Okay? And if you struggle with securing assets or knowing what assets are, always ask yourself, right? A very simple way. Asset or liability. If I purchase this item or this thing, will it be able to make me money if I have to sell it in the future? So the fellas you see buying the gold chains and the gold rings and the flashy shit, when you go to resell those things, you're not going to get the value that you initially paid for it. So those are liabilities. You purchase a piece of art that appreciates with time, right? You bought it for $1,000 in 2000. 2010 is worth $5,000. 2020 is worth $18,000. 2030, it'll be worth 30,000, right? It increases in value over time. So that is an asset. For an example, that is an asset. Secure as many assets as you possibly can on the level you are, and just keep reinvesting into yourself, your dreams, your vision, your purpose. That's all I got for today's episode, guys. Be sure to leave a comment in the description below. Be sure to leave your comments below. I'll be sure to leave my information in the description below. And as always, it's your boy CJ, and I'm out. Peace.